Hi, we live. Yeah, we live. Thank you for coming this week. BoredIn's live space. This week we have also exciting topic about MBA Building Good. Thank you for every guest coming to join our space, and also so very excited to having some different topic. It's not just about the business development. It's also highlighting what apes doing building good in this space. Welcome our guests, and then also thank you our co-host Jason Sway here. And Jason, will you mind to share a little bit what BoredIn doing?
Yeah, BoredIn is a community of apes building together. Sometimes building can be lonely, and we have this great community of apes. I think MBA kind of brought it to the forefront for us to kind of formalize and pull together a little bit more. And we created MBA to help do that. Kind of a play off of LinkedIn, right? The Ape Network, the power of community. I think we do talk about product a lot from MBA, but I think given this show and kind of the great guests and some of the content here, we'll be able to highlight something outside of just product and some of the good work that's being done. So, I think that's what we strive to do, right? Is to bring forward, spotlight other Ape projects and further to community. And we have a newsletter that comes out that does the same thing, and we also are kind of expanding the exposure of those things, whether on YouTube or LinkedIn, so other people outside of Web3 can start to see what's being built here. So welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. So first, let our guests, each of you guys, introduce yourself. How about we start from six?
What's going on? I'm just one half of the crypto pioneers. We teach financial literacy in the inner city and integrate blockchain technology, everything Web3 to kind of give these underserved communities a leg up with everything that's going on right now. We also have a lot of philanthropy work, not only here but outside of the United States. Um, yeah, other than that, man, it's running around in the community, trying to learn something, trying to get some better understanding of a lot of things going on. The space moves so fast. So I just feel like we as people, we focus too much on the things that really don't matter. And sometimes we kind of put to the side some of the things that matter, which is kind of showing other people that there's someone out there to care and it's gonna be okay.
Thank you. And of course, I would like to invite your team honors in here to introduce himself as well.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man? Other half of the crypto pioneers, man, just really, you know, just started this KP movement just because we seen just like how everybody is in crypto. Everybody around us that's our friends, that's our family, like they're not in crypto. Like they don't want to believe, they don't understand it. It feels like we always got to give them that extra push. And so that's where crypto pioneers came from. It started with just giving our friends a push. Then it was like, well, since our friends aren't listening, how about we go a little younger? How about we go to the teenagers? You know what I'm saying? And then we just realized that it was just like a ploy tool that just a lot of young people, they like to emulate what they see on TV or what they see as a rich person, you know what I'm saying? And me and Six being, you know what I'm saying, how outgoing we are, you know what I'm saying, we're like right there in that category. Every time we go somewhere, somebody thinks that we're rappers or we're celebrities, and we're like, no, we're just regular everyday people. You know what I'm saying? So we took two of those niches, man, and we just figured that if we push this financial literacy clause to everybody, that it would be a lot more accepting the way that we are.
Love that, love that. And yeah, next person I could like to invite David. Will you like to introduce yourself and what you're doing? Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much. My name is David. I have a charity called by autistic, whereby our aim is to help reduce harm and to create a socially accepted environment for special needs children in Africa. Did you hear me?
Yeah. No, thank you, David.
Yeah, we listening, David. You know, you gonna speak, we gonna listen, brother. You know, I always tell you, bro. I love what you're doing out there, brother. So yeah, we just want some more. That's all it was. We just wanted a
Exactly.
little more.
We're ready for it. We're ready for it.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I appreciate you, Six. I just love
And
how I love how
yeah,
honest.
it's much great to honest to see everyone on face, and finally we can meet the story behind who's doing good. Yeah.
100%. I love how honest and Six embody themselves. It's great to see everyone in person. You know, face to face always feels different. The connection, and I love what they're doing. I've actually been keeping tabs on them like a sneaky little founder, and it's very impressive. Because before I got into Biotistic, I also onboarded African students into Web3, and that's also like pushing financial literacy and also giving people a source of income and employment. And so it's beautiful to see the inspiration and the motivation behind that, because once you know something, it's your mandate to also teach the people who don't know, especially for people of our color and in our communities, that can also uplift them. So it's brilliant what they're doing.
Truly, yeah. And the next team I could like to introduce is Fanny. And will you like to introduce yourself? I mean your team. Yeah.
Why don't I jump in first? My name is Martin. I'm on the Thank Ape team. I've been involved with Thank Ape through Thrive, which Thrive help runs the program with a board of now 7 folks who are deeply embedded in the ApeCoin community. So Thank Ape is a program that helps reward the most valuable contributions made to ApeCoin DAO. And so we have been running for the last year. We just got renewed. Our IAP just got renewed in early February, almost 90% to approval rate. So we have a really strong mandate to do some really exciting stuff this year, and we'll talk about that in the next little bit. But Dilly, why don't you take it from here?
Hey guys, so I'm Dilly. My name's Dylan, but that's how most people in Web3 know me. I have been a part of the Bored Ape community for the last 3 years. I kind of stumbled my way into it. NFTs were a hobby at first, and then all of Web3 just kind of like consumed me. And I know that I'm not alone in having experienced that, but I've spent the last 3 years as part of that community, really active in Web3 in general. I've done a few various pieces of advising or things that were outside of just trading, but most of the time that I've spent here was realistically just to I traded for a living for the last 3 years, but I didn't just do that because I thought this was going to be a moonshot towards making it in the world. It was more of a way for me to sustain myself so that I can find something that was more meaningful to contribute to, find a team that I felt was aligned with like my personal interests, and contribute to something that was going to take the space further. So ThriveCoin and Thank Ape perfectly embodies that. The opportunity to create contribution economies where absolutely anybody can find ways to use their skills, their experience, their desire to contribute and be equitably rewarded for that is just there's nothing better that I could ask for. So to be in a group of people here that all have such altruistic ends towards what they're trying to do in the space is like really inspiring for me. I've been super blessed the last few weeks to be a part of it and to work with my fellow apes, because obviously, that hits home for me.
Awesome. So why don't we just start today's space?
Martin, Martin, did Martin go?
No, I'm here. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I went. Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah, Martin already win. Yeah. So Yeah, we start today's space, and today we have a today is very amazing. I'm sure you already hear each team. They shall introduce themselves, and let's start today's topic. The first I could like to go through to a couple community news, and very excited. Last week we just have a come home, and I'm sure you all on the amazing trip. I have fun too, and I seeing all the crazy things in the clubhouse, and everywhere is dancing and doing the Nazi things, and I love it. I'm sure you all of you have enjoyed the space as well, and yeah, this is some of the photo I collect from the committee and some of the photo I take by myself, and I really love the asset to people can Ape can able to take a trophies and having a lot of fun develop in the clubhouse, and this is some of the lasty corner I'm seeing. It's just so much fun, and yeah, and also I really like the setting as well. Well done, and I can't wait for my next trick. And did everybody also go to the other side trick this time? Yeah.
We was in Denver. We was in
No,
a
yeah,
conference.
in Stanford.
There
Yeah.
was there was a lot of apes to try to get go to a house to get on the
Yeah.
trip, but only a few was able to get.
Yeah, and the next I'm sure it's like everyone is like so excited, and also see on the timeline everyone is supposing the other pages, and yeah, other pages are finally launched, and now you can able to using their page to climb your own page. And I was able to climb it as well. I'm really like the way how the whole other page development, because you can able to climb your asset, and also you are able to showcasing what MFT you own, and I'm really love the whole setting as well. And the next new will be me and Jason's, and also other Jason's channel. We actually are going to host an event in the MIT MYC. It's called Boy Bunch, and yes, it's like a lot of news is coming, and please follow us also for more detail. And other than that, and let's start our today's space. The first we want to description is who building good, MBA building good in the space. The first team I do like to introduce is David. And yeah, and David, very excited to having you in here, and also could love to having you to short introduce about your MBA, and what's the team behind, and what is the focus on? Yeah.
So, so while on a school trip in 2019, uh, we were made to volunteer community service hours. Can everybody hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
David, you good?
I think we lost him.
Yeah,
Maybe we lost him. Yeah.
it looks like it froze for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just seems like frozen for him. Maybe the signal.
David, you there?
yeah, can
Yeah,
you hear me?
yeah, you're good.
Yeah. You come back. Yeah.
Perfect. So, while on a school trip in 2019, in the final year in college, we had to volunteer community service hours. So my friends and I traveled about 6 hours out by road to go and renovate a school. During the renovation of the playground, I had bought bananas, and this kid reached out to me for these bananas with his hand stretched out. So immediately I looked up at him. I saw I saw that his tongue was out and saliva was dripping from his mouth. And so immediately I was emotionally provoked because that was my first introduction to a special needs kid and to neurodivergence. So I asked to be introduced to his teacher, who helped me to understand that no other teacher wanted to be responsible for him because he wasn't potty trained. And also because there were times where he would get into a frenzy, or he would become very, very frantic. And so I was like, wow, social segregation is real. And so why don't I get introduced to his parents? So I expected to be introduced to a family only to meet a single mother. And she helped me to understand her situation and how life has shaped their life at that point. So the story is that the dads typically begin to threaten the moms that if they don't take the kids' life, when they realize that the kids are neurodivergent, they're going to leave the families. And this is the situation where the dads are the financial powerhouses of the family. And so if they leave, life becomes a losing battle. So if the mother succumbs to the dad's wishes, she's going to have to give him poison through food or drown a child in a river. And when I heard this, I was very much more curious into the story. So I kind of asked her about how does she make money? How does she make income? Then she helped me understand that the child makes them idle because they can't take the child to business or to work. And I asked her why. And it's because there's a stigma that exists that these kids are cursed and they're the result of bad omen. And so when you have the kid with you, no one is willing to even patronize your food or give you business. And what typically happened was majority of the schools were not willing to accept these children simply because of the stigma that they're cursed and also because they didn't know how to take care of them. And so for the little schools that accepted these kids, what would happen is there would be a lot of social segregation between the rest of the population and the kids. I've had several recounts, several mothers tell me that they would always realize that their child's desk is separated from the rest of the class, only for them to go ask the teacher why. And the teacher's like, because your child is a stubborn kid or your child is a bad kid. So sometimes what the mothers end up doing is leaving the kid indoors for over like 8-10 hours sometimes so they can go out, make ends meet, and come back home. Sometimes it gets as terrible as tying them to a tree for a very long period because if you leave them with the way these kids function, they might harm themselves. And so when I got wind of this reality in different communities in my country and in other African countries, I decided to lounge. At that time, I was helping the families that I could, but when I got into Web3, I realized the power of IP because I realized that IP gives you a platform to be able to speak to your community. And having IP of a certain community gives you access to being a family member of that community. And so I decided to organize for a professional videography team to shoot short docu-series on these families. And I put it out on Twitter, and I realized due to the IP that I employed in the videos and in the storytelling, the community received the message with grace. And then that's what created a lot of opportunities, like partnerships with Thank Ape World Cup, which was a Bored Ape football NFT project. And I decided to come up with this NFT project that is nonprofit called By Autistic, or it's for the autistic by the autistic, whereby to raise funds for the children. We showed them different NFTs as art. And as a result of that, organized an art workshop whereby they were drawing the art that they saw on the digital canvas. So we showed them apes, we showed them hounds, we showed them a bunch of NFTs, and they were drawing what they saw. And I curated that art to become an NFT collection that I'm minting to raise funds. Indeed, IP is super powerful because as we've begun, we've managed to renovate schools, build container homes for special needs kids who were orphans. They were literally left on the street to die because both parents fled, and we built them container homes. We've empowered these single mothers. Some of them. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them have restaurants now. Some of them have very thriving businesses, and they're able to put food on their family's plate. We've empowered mothers with over $20,000. Um, we just built a water well with Novo Labs, uh, headed by Lior, and we're doing amazing things. And so this is pretty much the background story. And what we aim to accomplish is make life easier for these kids, to help them to integrate into society, help them to be able to reach their fullest potential, because even Mozart is autistic, but he's a legendary artist. Um, you know, Organize more empowerment workshops to help the mothers to start a business, build well-equipped autism sensory centers whereby they can have the right diagnosis and the right way forward for these families. Organize therapy care sessions to educate the mothers on how to help their kids reach their fullest potential. So we have a lot of ambitious goals, and this is pretty much the summary.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's so inspiring, and thank you for sharing that. Is these efforts, is there a team that you're working with, or are you kind of been the one that's driving this in these efforts yourself?
I'm definitely needed a team to accomplish all these things. I definitely can't. Yeah, so we have a local team that my family has been in construction for the last 25 years. And so we kind of source our builders from our family business. And also on the team, we have project managers, we have accountants, we have devs, we have a videography team. So it's a lot of team, but I'm the face in Web3 because I'm into Web3 and I'm tapping into the technology to give these mothers who never had a voice and be able to tell their story through the platform that this technology creates.
Yeah, so telling that voice and now doing the project, can you talk a little bit about um, where those funds are going, and how that gets deployed to kind of further this journey for you?
100%. So for us, before we decided how to allocate funds, we had to really sit down and um, look for ways to really solve the problem, and if not fully solve it, solve a great portion of it. And then we realized that the first thing that we had to tackle was the stigma, because the stigma of special needs kids being a curse is what drives them away from society, and it's what drives society away from them in these underprivileged communities. So, as part of our allocation, we're going on a media tour in the local communities to spread the word that autism is not a curse, and have different mothers who've been able to, um, you know, to help their kids reach their fullest potential, tell people how they can also help their kids reach their fullest potential if they don't discard them or take their lives because of the belief that they're a curse. Another allocation that we think is going to really help solve the problem is helping the mothers and the locals through experts understand ways to help the children. Sorry, for example, the replacement acts, like a special needs kid may have sexual needs and urges. Unfortunately, they might express them in public by, let's say, masturbating in public. But as a replacement act, you can teach him to go satisfy himself in the room or when he comes back from the public space. And these are some of the things and techniques that these mothers don't know, and it kind of drives them crazy, especially because society has already deemed them a curse. So that's also another allocation that we're looking to put funds towards. Another thing that's very important is also getting the kids in the right schools, because in the public schools the teachers are not trained to help the kids. So what we realize is the teachers physically brutalize the kids. They literally beat them as capital punishment to be able to put the kids in shape. And so many mothers will bring their kids back home and realize that the kids have bruise marks all over their body, and they can't go and complain to the school, because if they do, the kid is going to get kicked out. And when the kid gets kicked out, now they're going to have to take the kid to work. And when they take the kid to work, they can't make any income because society deems them as a curse and nobody's going to come patronize their business. So they have no option but to keep the kid in there. And so giving the kids the opportunity to go to the right schools and subsidize tuition and fees. We have contact with majority of the special needs schools in the country. We have a list of all of them actually in all the different regions, and we're looking for ways to subsidize the fees and tuition through funding to be able to give majority of students the opportunity to go to school. Another way we're looking to allocate funding is through empowerment workshops, because we've already organized and we did a bakery workshop where mothers were given $10,000 to start their own bakery. We renovated a whole bakery factory so that they could produce bread and make funds, and that's currently ongoing, which is beautiful to see. Um, but the empowerment is important because the dad threatens the mom that if you don't take your own child's life, I'm going to leave you. And this is a baby that the mother has held for 9 months. And so once the dad leaves, she's devastated because now she has to take care of a kid alone. She has to deal with the heartbreak of the dad leaving, and she also has to deal with the heartbreak of society deeming her curse. And so what we do is set them up for success by teaching them the right skills, and increasing their skills if they have any in any business venture that they want to venture. Then we provide business incentive through grants to help them set up themselves and set up shop to be able to make ends meet. And we've had several different testimonies: mothers doing charcoal business, restaurants, mothers selling water, just by virtue of business grants that we've handed out after organizing empowerment workshops. And last but not the least, one thing that we're passionate about, and that's actually one of the first things I'm going to do once we reach a good amount, is building special needs centers, well-equipped ones. We're currently in talks with one of the biggest hospitals in the country called Ridge Hospital. It's located in the capital. And we have a budget, and we're in talks for building the first ever special needs ward, which is well-equipped. Because you know what's crazy? First off, there's no policy for these kids on the governmental level. In the Western countries, you realize that there's policy that makes life easier for neurodivergent kids and families. But out here, it's no policy. And there's also no hospital ward, no children's ward that's dedicated to special needs. All the wards are general wards. And so what happens is you send your kid there and they're not even diagnosed right or taken care of right. But we are planning to build the first ever well-equipped sensory and autism center that kids can go to and get the right diagnosis and get the right treatment. So in a nutshell, we brainstormed these different points and established that this is how, if we allocate funds, we can make a huge change, and it can be a super revolutionary turning point for this stigma that exists that autistic kids are a curse.
The the next question actually, and also the final question for you, will be, I actually bought that beautiful piece, and I'm sure everyone was following your journey and your story. Now I can see you are using Web3 power to launching the first collection, right? The MFT collection. And I love this collection a lot, and also love each of the name. And I also see Gordon also buying the one beautiful piece as well. And I'm also on one. I think Jason on one as well. Will you like to explain about this project and what you want to? Sorry.
I was like 6 owns one as well, an NFT
Yeah,
hoarder.
six owned it as well. So yeah, everyone in the committee was so supporting this project and loving this project. Will you also like to share this project?
Yeah, so we organized an art workshop where we showed these special children different NFTs. So we showed them apes, we showed them hounds, we showed them all the different types of NFTs, and allowed them to express what they saw on the digital canvas. Because as you know, they haven't reached their fullest potential yet. And so they can't put together these images that they're seeing, but they're expressing them through drawing on the digital canvas, because we had the environment supercharged up with good music and good food, which was like a dancing environment. And it was so beautiful to see the kids express themselves like that. And it's so powerful because the art was beautiful, but what it really is the hopes, the joys, the smiles, the cries, the stigma of the kids being a curse, and the way the kids interpret our space as NFTs and Web3 on a digital canvas. And for me, it's a no-brainer because this process is a real representation of the power of this technology called Web3. Because if not for Web3, first of all, we wouldn't have the platform, to be able to tell this story, because these voices have been unheard for a very long time. And second of all, we wouldn't even be able to allow people around the world to support this cause by collecting art that the kids made. And so we have love, hope, and humanity. And the words represent what this cause stands for. Because this cause is bigger than humanity, it gives the children and these families hope. And it's a true representation of love for one another. And so the hope, the humanity is our most, it's our cheapest mint, which is 0.05, which most of us can afford. The hope is zero point 0.5 and the love is 1/8. And the hope and love NFTs, they come with physical threaded artwork by African artisans. You can probably see some behind me. But the thing is, these artworks are physically threaded by hand, and it's a 5-day intricate process. They're beautiful pieces. And so you might, if you like, you might think, it's very easy to get caught up in Web3 and the technology. But when you see how far these funds go in these families' lives, your mind will literally explode. Like I had a kid, one of the kids, when you remember I said we went a short docu series on these families. Yeah, in that same art workshop, there was one kid, he wasn't feeling too good. If you're to see him now, his face is peeling and he has rashes all over his body. The first time they showed me pictures of him, I couldn't eat for majority of the day. And if not for funds from minting that I sent them $700 for their medical bill, this kid will lose his life. And so you might think it's a regular project or it's a regular space, but it's, as the name represents, it's way bigger than humanity. And for me, it's a no-brainer that this technology is able to save lives, which would have otherwise been lost by virtue of lack of funds. So it's very important to me, and that's why I'm pushing this cause so much. And this is how we came up with the concept, and this is how we came up with the art being minted.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love how you're empowering, the kids to share their art, how you're using the technology to mint it out and secure funds to give back to the kids, and also empowering the moms, right? I think it's you said it, Six said it. We get trapped and wrapped up on all the drama on Twitter and X, the for price and price goes up type of things, where great to kind of take a step out of that to hear this story and your journey. And your mint is still open. Is that
100%.
yeah? So not financial advice, but I hope all you degens out there kind of making all this money from meme coins is gonna take some profit and support some of these causes, which is great. Yeah, Six.
I got something to say about that. Um, you're completely right. Like we speak about it. We're not gonna focus on the negativity of the space, but eh, man, there's a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people watching here that you done sent some money somewhere that you didn't know who you was sending it to. Hoping and romanticizing with the idea of 1,000x a coin. You know what I mean? And that's okay. Making money is okay. I know, we DJing. So it's you're going to make money regardless. You're gonna get your gains. You're in the space, just sticking around. But my problem is when we see the greater good, a lot of people just sit on their hands. Like is that is a problem that we need to kind of break through, and we do that by holding people accountable. Like, okay, you're gonna make some money, that's cool. You're gonna go spend it. Man, I seen a lot of these DJs in these clubs going to the club, spending thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars in alcohol. It's okay to be able to support if you claim to you are here for a community, right? We are a community. We have each other. If not, it's just, we just got to be honest with ourselves. Yeah, it's not financial advice, but I feel like even if you don't know the man, the story behind it, like the first time I heard it, I got in his DM. I'm like, hey man, you doing what? I'm like, because to me, I love to see people do dope shit, especially when it comes down to for the greater good. And I know we're a little out, rough around the edges, and we're a little different. But when it comes down to helping people, oh man, I'm genuine as it come, and I just feel like people is so quick to, if this brother or anybody, when it's so a lot of positive things on the space, kind of feel like aliens. You can make a shit post, and everybody gonna engage with the post. Everybody gonna comment. It's funny. Oh, he ha ha. But when it comes down to one of yours doing something positive, it gets overlooked. Oh, this is not about me. It's not gonna give me the next 100x. Like that is ridiculous. And y'all know that one thing for sure, it's a lot of people that have to be politically correct. We don't. I speak my mind. Everybody loves me because I'm gonna speak my mind and I'm gonna call it how I see it. I feel like we can cuss here, right? This is your show, so I just want to respect. We can cuss here, right? Okay. You see, that's respect. You got to give you got to read the room. I just feel like a lot of people be on some bullshit, like 100%. Especially we building this great unity in the club of apes, just alone. I'm not just talking about Web3. Let's say just apes, and but when it comes down to being united, nah. But if you got an alpha group, add me to it because I want to engage. But so I feel like we just need to support each other a little bit more.
Yeah, honest.
100% agree. And yeah, honest, would you like to
So
share something?
first, I wanna thank David. There's not too many people I thank for buying Ape. Thank you for buying Ape. Okay, seriously, because what say where your heart is with just I'm pretty sure your philanthropy work probably goes before having an Ape in some form, and so and that's why I said thank you for having an Ape because the ape community needs you. You know what I'm saying? They really do need you. It's good to see somebody that's actually got a heart to it. I'm kind of mind blown about what I'm saying, just the whole like how you got everything going, man, bro. I commend you, man. It's awesome. I raise a bunch of kids over here, and one of my stepsons is autistic, and we've traveled the world, and we've been trying to put him in school in different states, and you just start learning logistics. Like there's no special schools. Like maybe when we were younger, we had special schools or we had special classrooms, but for a lot of these autistic kids, there's no special classrooms no more. They're going to put them in regular classrooms. And if you can't and this is in America too, in case anybody knows and if they can't operate in that classroom, if they can't go with what is being taught at that time, well, then they kind of like backlash them. They just either push them to the back of the room, or what I'm saying, they totally ignore what they have going on. So it's really hard, um, what I'm saying, from all aspects of what I'm saying, being with an autistic kid, nonverbal. So it's like we just as people gotta just realize that everybody's different, man, and everybody's gonna need help. We're in crypto and we're in NFTs and we're part of the biggest NFT collection in the world. Okay, so we have a leg up. We have a leg up on 99% of the Web3 world, okay? Because we're bored apes, we're in crypto, and we're trying to help people. There's no way we can fail. The only thing we need to do is just keep spreading love, because this shit becomes contagious after a minute. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about the people that ain't getting on board. We don't have to worry about the people that ain't supporting us. What we need to do is just keep spreading that love and letting people get contagion from it. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you, David. Your fucking story was awesome. I'm sorry, man. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm an 8. Newton's are saying, excuse me.
I appreciate you. It's always beautiful when you have people. By the way, dude, Six and Honest, I love your energy, guys. I love it. um, you always you always light up a room, and I love that. It's just a certain. I can't put a pin to it, but it's just a certain aura that like lights up a room and brings a lot of life, and I think that's very beautiful. For me, whenever I come in contact with people who have had an interaction with special needs, it's just beautiful for me to tell them the story because they can relate on a deeper level. Because honest, you use some terms that show me that you relate because you said nonverbal, because it's verbal and nonverbal neurodivergence. And so you telling your story about how you've traveled the world with your one of the kids you take care of, it just brings it's like a home run for me because it's like, yes, he understands, and even he lives in the Western country, he lives in the States, so how much more these families who live in Africa. And you were thanking me for buying an ape and also asking if I started this before NFTs. So I got into NFTs in 2022 slash late 2021, but I had this first encounter with this kid in 2019. And ever since, I was helping the family with stuff like tuition. Sometimes their school uniform would be tattered up, and I had to buy them a new school uniform. I remember on several birthdays, I would send them like a pack of drinks. And and the first time I got in contact with the special needs kid, don't forget the story I said that I had bought bananas. And when I looked up, his tongue was out with saliva oozing out. And for me, it's just crazy how God works because the bananas, which animals eat bananas? Apes. And his tongue out with saliva oozing out. Isn't that one of the traits? Isn't that like Gargus ape with that ape with the tongue out? And this came in 2019, and this was my first encounter. And tell me which NFT project that has been retweeted by the official Bored Ape Yacht account club with a mint link attached. That's a lot of liability to be able to put behind a project, especially with how apes have targets on our backs. But this project was retweeted, and I'm in many communities, but the support from this community, the apes, is mind blowing. And it's the reason why we've come so far. There's so many people backing this from the background who don't want their names out. But I always have to say a big thank you to people like Ella and Lior, because those are two apes who connected me to their pool of opportunity and resource to be able to man this cause. And just trying to tell you, the universe doesn't make mistakes, because the first things I encountered with that kid had a lot of ape elements. So for this cause 3 years later to be championed by apes, for me, I think that it was always ordained for this to happen. And I'm just thankful to be an ape.
David, you're a beast, man.
Yeah.
You really are. It's super inspiring. And
yeah.
I wanted to jump in really quickly just to say, I mean, starting with what Six said, I think I have to hold myself accountable because, I am one to get very lost in my small bubble, and it's hard sometimes to look outside of that and show compassion or empathy to anything outside of your own bubble. And I know that you have reached out to my DMs before, and I left it on red, and it wasn't something that I did out of spite. It was something that I need to be accountable for, and saying that, like, if it's chasing a coin or it's chasing a collection, or it was even before I was with Thank Ape. So the serendipity on that is outrageous, to be honest, because now I'm in this position where it is my job to collaborate and work with people just like yourself, and in a position to do that. So I want to say first, I'm so sorry that I have never gotten back to you on it. There's a lot of reasons I can say why that was, but there's no good ones, right? So I'm really happy that we share this space together, and that I'm in the position that I'm in now. And for the later topic that we will be having about what our season 5 is all about gathering feedback from the community and using that to curate the best contribution opportunities for the future, about working with MBA and making sure that the people that are actually creating with their IP and creating in our communities are supported. I think that there's no better example than what you're doing. So after this show, I will certainly be giving you a response in the DMs first. And I would love to collaborate with you in some way and figure out what we can do to help you in your cause, because that is what our budget is for. That's what the DAO approved us to do. So that's what we're going to do. So thank you, and I'm sorry.
Yes. That's also the reason why I want to be Acom Markham. It's I want to be using my network to connect good things in this space. Be honest, I am the one of the like top winner in FNA season 3, and I've been get spoiled by how much FNA is supporting small communities, small startups, small business. But other than that, I've been seeing it's not just community, not just small business needs support, not just MBA needs support. It's actually, our realize IRL community and have a large audience needs support, and we are building something much bigger scene in here, and that's also why we have to have a space together to let more bigger audience to understand and also hear about the story. And I'm very happy to just make it happen. I'm very happy. Yeah, I remember they were first time tell me the story, I was actually crying. That day is very emotional for me. But today daily is making me second time want crying, because it's like, yes, this is what I want. That's what I want. Sometimes like people are not understand how important to bring in business idea or being in a large bigger committee or bigger funding to supporting small project. But now like that you can see it's actually more helpful to connecting to work together. Yeah. So
Like, so as you're saying, Popil, it's beautiful because, you know, if not for Web3 being a bridge, these stories would never be heard, and these lives will continue to be lost, you know. And for me, I apologize about the numerous DMs to people listening. I'm sure my team and I have probably sent a lot of DMs to people, repeat DMs, just to bring the DM back up top, because you know how DMs can easily get buried quickly. But which other opportunity would I have to tell this story before so many diverse people in the universe, in the Bored Ape community, and to be able to get somebody like Dilly to say, okay, I want to do a partnership. The people that we're trying to serve and we're serving, these are kids who their parents literally left them on the street because they were special needs, that we put them in a container home, and their voices will never be heard because they can't even speak. Majority are nonverbal. So for me, it's a no-brainer using my voice. And people ask me, so why do you do this? It's simple, because I had a choice. You know, I had a choice to come out normal and be able to read books and be able to travel and be able to, you know, self-teach myself Web3 and get into the space. But these people, they didn't have that choice because life was a losing battle from the inception of their birth. And so it's a no-brainer for me to harness this technology, just using this as a platform to apologize for the DMs. But I feel like this story must be heard, and sometimes we must compel people to hear uh, powerful and necessary stories.
Yeah, and
You should
people need to
never
hear.
apologize for that. Yeah, you should never apologize for those
Yeah,
DMs. Like
yeah,
that persistence matters so much. I mean, I can tell you even personally, like it's hard not to think that anybody's a scammer that's DMing you that may like, slip like into that secondary bucket. So getting to see your humanity in the way that you continue to follow up on that, it shows not just how much it shows how much it means to you, really. It shows how much it means to you. It shows how authentic you are, and it manifests something so much greater. So it's not something that you should ever apologize for, in my opinion. Like, bother the hell out of anybody that is not giving enough time out of their day to read that message and recognize what is behind it, because there's so many layers to what you're doing.
I
I
yeah.
wanna
appreciate.
I wanna tap in on that. For one, Dilly, that's dope, bro. It takes balls, man, to take accountability for things and acceptance. But two, David, like he said, there's no need to apologize, bro. You need to. This is what we're here for. You're supposed to bother the hell out of everybody because it's not bothering. It's like, hey, you're not looking at what you need to be looking at. We get a lot of DMs all of the time that we don't want. We get all kinds of stuff in there that we don't want. Then we asking everybody to DM us with everything. With you, bro, it's just you know how I feel about it. Me, we didn't talk. We gonna do something. I don't. The crypto pioneers will be in Africa. We just gonna figure it out. We gonna come out there. That's our thing. So it's there's no need to apologize. They need to see it, bro. They
And
need to see. I think they need to see you a little bit more, and you need to be louder. You just too calm. Me, I'm the loud one. I'll be. Don't worry about it. We'll
Hey,
we'll pop it
maybe
for you.
maybe it's yeah. I was gonna say maybe it's six needing to be
You
loud
know,
for
we
you.
gonna pop it for you, bro.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
loud and clear, and they know we
yeah.
outside all the time.
You gonna pull
So
up in a
that's the
green
thing,
truck?
man. We coming in the mutant truck, man. You know, he right there. He gonna be ready at all times. But the thing is, it's a loud cause, bro. It needs to be heard. It needs to be seen, and we see it on the timeline all the time. People, for example, floor prices. Everybody now, oh my God, what you complaining for? I thought you was here for the community. If the community is here, so bother the community. That's what it's for. That's what we're built for the community. It doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter where you come from. Once you become a part of a community, all of that gets forgotten because we're the same. What is it? What resources I have that can help you? What resources you have that can help somebody else? That's the whole point, and pass it forward.
Thank you, Six. Yeah, well, seems you speak now, and I do want you to speak louder for what you have been building. And I was looking for all this picture. I have been visiting. I feel like beyond Thai, you are very representing some of the aid to building good in this space, but it's I think it's like people are not have seen much about what you're building and also not have much hear about much story in behind, and this is why we collect you, invite you and honest to share your team story. And yeah, how about we just start from here and introduce you about your team and also introduce about what your MBA building for good.
Oh, does that mean me? Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
honest and Six, so like whenever
yeah.
you want to jump. Yeah.
Okay, let me in, man. Okay, okay, so crypto pioneers, okay, to be honest with you, it started just trying to get people onboarded into crypto. That's pretty much it. I was very interested in ENSs and I couldn't get the C on my crypto. I couldn't get cryptopioneers.eth with the C on it. And that's the reason why it's crypto pioneers with the K. Let's see. From there, I started. I had an esports lounge. I had an esports lounge that I had opened in 2019, and it was during when COVID hit. It totally ripped it apart, and so I was actually using the space to like I would throw a flyer up on my Instagram, and then I would just like ask people to come through, and they would come to my esports lounge, and I would just sit there and teach them about crypto and stuff, and just trying to onboard people. That was just the main thing. No matter what you look like, I didn't care who you was. I was just trying to get you to where I was. um for people that don't know my backstory, I sold all my cars to get into crypto. Like I realized where crypto was going and stuff, and I sold everything. People don't know I had a Rolls Royce with diamonds on my wheels. I was a big I like to shine, and so crypto made me humble myself and made me be like, okay, maybe I don't need these things right now. Maybe I can have these things later on in life, but right now I need this money to invest. Like I need every penny. Yeah, and if anybody knows about January 2020, when Bitcoin was between $6,000 and $8,000, it was probably a very, very good time to get into crypto. And just carrying it on, it was just like it was just mandatory. And it was a lot of people that I presented like this idea of crypto and being able to move forward, and just my boy Six, just it was like natural to him. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I was talking to everybody else, they were like, yeah, Bitcoin, yeah. And he's just like, tell me more, tell me more. I'm like, I got NFTs too. Here's an NFT. Come on, let's go. And Six, to be honest with you, out of everybody I've onboarded about with as far, let's say I've tried to onboard 10,000 people, and I think I have onboarded like six out of that 10,000. But six himself is he's beyond He's beyond that. He's the person that when you tell him something, he's gonna go do his own research. You know what I'm saying? He's listening to what you're saying, but he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go check this out for myself. And this guy literally was ghosting everybody for 30 days. I should have known something was up. Because after I presented him with the you know what I'm saying, he just was he ghost. There was no post, there was nothing. Then he came back and he hit me up. He's like, I'm ready. What's up? Let's do this. Let's do this. And automatically I've known Six to be that person to do philanthropy work. You know what I'm saying? He was doing stuff on the south side of Houston during Hurricane Harvey, and I was on the north side of Houston during Hurricane Harvey. You know what I'm saying? We really never met, but just the teaching of crypto brought us together and just pushed that medium harder to where we had to be able to let people know what's really going on out here. You know what I'm saying? And so once it became us teaching our friends, we went from teaching our friends to, teaching teenagers. Then we go from teaching teenagers to throwing events where we're helping young people. And then we look at each other and we're like, yeah, this is where it's at. Like the 8-year-old to the 15-year-old, like that's where we need to be at. That's where we need. That's exactly where we need to be at, man. Like for real. It's like it. I commend anybody who's in the eight community and look what we got. We got all the people that are pushing for positive in Web3 and in the eight community right here. These are the people that need to be highlighted at least once a week, because if we can push this narrative where apes are giving, where apes are trying to upgrade and trying to, just it's all about philanthropy work. If we can just push that narrative instead of all these other bullshit narratives that we have for profile pics and for other shit like that, I really believe that we can push forward. And just being in this room, I thought it was just me and Six. Okay, I'm not really verbal on Instagram or on Twitter and stuff, y'all, so excuse me, but I thought it was just me and Six. So it is fucking awesome that I get to narrate with all of y'all here. What's going on? My name's Honest, man. What's up? That's
But
my
it's the
rant.
thing. It's like the beautiful thing about Web3 is it brings people together, whether it be for some fuckery or whether it be for some good things. We just got to make the choice. It's people from all different backgrounds. People like, for example, every single one of us look different. Every single one of us talk different. I just had this conversation with Rob. He's an ape as well. He a little older, very professional, but we happen to bring the best out of people. What I mean by that is like when people get around us, they feel comfortable being however the fuck they want to be. So we was having a conversation at a club. He said, "You know what I like about you?" I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Man, the thing with y'all is like y'all genuine. Is I can come here, anybody that's on my Instagram, anything they see, hey, I can put on a suit. I can, man, that I'm comfortable in a suit. Hey, I can put a 5-piece suit on at any time and just come in with the best of him. A lot of people don't even know there's 5-piece suits, but yes, it's 5-piece suit. And I can't adjust the way I talk. I only adjust the way I talk when I'm talking to kids because it's genuine. If you like me, you're gonna like me for who I am. Yes, I come from the ghetto. No, I'm not in the ghetto no more. I lived in the third world country for 10 years. So always that's gonna have a special place in my heart. I understand that the drive and mentality that I have is I work my ass off. I went through the ups and downs. I done been in trouble as a kid. And I just realized at a very young age that not everybody has the mentality. Some people just give up. Some people just don't have no hope. When we come around, we don't see the doctors and the lawyers. So, okay, the scientists don't live across the way when you're growing up. It might live across the way now and bring me his wife bring cookies. I don't know why, but listen, don't judge me. I didn't know, but she do bring cookies to the house. But when you grow up, or you see the people that make money, the people that look good, the people that family is okay, is the hustlers, drug dealers, the people that's in the streets doing things they don't need to be doing, and they're gonna follow that. The kids, the next generation is gonna be raised like that, and I know it's very hard to understand when you don't come from that. But it's easy to blame. Oh, but people is just lazy. No, they not. Some people just don't have no fucking hope. I'm very passionate about it because it's like some of these kids don't have no hope. Some of these kids don't have resources. Somebody just told me at East Denver, and then once we sat down, because this is the thing, when people see us, you're gonna have a pre-existing thought of what somebody that look like me with a mouth full of diamonds, some jewelry, and whatever I got on full of tattoos is gonna be like. So then we sit down and talk, and people always say some outrageous shit that makes no sense. That's how disconnected people is from reality. Well, my God, how about you just teach them about if they invest $10,000? Because when we talk about everything, financial literacy, well, tell them if they invest $10,000 in a high yield. I said, fam, some of these people don't have 10,000. Some of these people is living on a 24-hour range. What I mean is every 24 hours, life reset. So every morning they reset. Some people don't have an option. It's really messed up and it's getting worse. And all people doing is pointing in fingers. If you give these kids a different avenue, that's what Web3. Once I found Web3 and it makes sense, at first it sounded like a different language. So I'm like, okay, when it makes, I said, this is the future of technology. It makes sense. So, hey, if these kids learn how to code at an early age, they can do something. If they learn how to do this, then if they learn what money is, how money works, how this economy works, they have a better chance at a lot of things in life and changing their whole situation. But a lot of people don't care because it's never their reality. It is not my reality now. Like I tell people all the time, we don't have to do this. We are fine. We figure it out. We do it. We've been doing this out of our own pocket before Web3. Honest was went to Alaska, gave everybody laptops in Alaska. We didn't did the Hurricane Harvey. A lot of people lost their homes. There was water for those that watch the news. It's like there was water super hard. We in the water getting to families. And people might ask, like, why? I'm like, why not? Like, I'm blessed in life. I come from nothing. It's like, so I see the pain in people. I know a little bit, like what David said, a little bit, sometimes a little bit helps a whole lot out of the country and in the country. And some people just give them. So by us being us, we're relatable to these children. They see the same thing on TV. They see so now when we get wherever we get to, they like this. Now they want to listen. What you got going on? Now we changing the message. This is you can look into this, you can look into that. And now the beautiful thing about it is like I might not know something, but guess what? Now the kid, I got his attention. Now I can bring somebody that doesn't look like him, but he's gonna pay attention to him because hey, the cool guy just told me they listen to him, so I want to listen to him, and he can change the message and change that kid life. 100%. Like that picture right there, that was in Atlanta. That's our last event we just did a few weeks ago. We found a teacher. Um, he's from Chicago, Jimmy. He moved to Atlanta and started a music program to get kids out of the streets and teach them music. So we found a guy. That's what I'm saying is it's not that difficult to get involved because we like, hey, let's go to Atlanta. Okay, let's go to Atlanta. Let's do an event in Atlanta. This is how things work. I'm sorry. That's what when Bobby said earlier, like, hey, it was kind of last minute. Listen, we the last minute kids because we like a week prior, we like, let's do an event in Atlanta with the kids. Okay, I found a community leader. I did my research. The guy I got him on the phone. He was like, you know how and that's how I knew he cared because he was like he had kids. All of it, he look at them like this is all his kids. He's like, a lot of people contact me. I'm like, hey, we'll be there this weekend. He's like, you for real? I'm like, for real. We want to. What do y'all need? He's like, they didn't have no studio. He been paying for the studio time out of his pocket to keep the kids in a safe place. So we're like, hey, we're gonna pay for the studio time. We're gonna fly this videographer from New York. So y'all can shoot the first video. They shot their first video called I Don't Want to Die Young. Actually, these kids got a lot of talent. So we went over there, we did this whole event. That's how simple it was. We did have a few people from Web3. The kids was asking questions. We showcased their music. On top of that, we talked about financial literacy, blockchain security. We talked about insurance and credit. We talked about many different things. Plus, listen to the kids to see what they have to say. Because sometimes some people don't need nothing but just somebody that cares. Then on top of that, there was this guy, Walden's. He showed up with the laptop. He pulled the laptop. Now we got a little kid over there playing on what's that Nipsey Island. It was just they was asking and the questions these kids asked us. That's how we knew they was paying attention because those are some of the best questions, straight to the point about Web3 that we have heard, and we done a lot of conference. It was like amazing. So not only with financial literacy, but also with a lot of philanthropy, just trying to, just trying to kind of get down there and put boots in the ground and make a change as much as we can.
I
I
totally agree with this boy. Hey, I gotta let me just give this boy his flowers, man. He
yeah.
he he really is genuine. He's really genuine. You don't find that many genuine people out here, man. So just to be like as a in a partnership with my boy, man, we know that we're both genuine. We don't have no ulterior motives, and it's just like I want this to be like I want this to be like karma. I want everybody to just take this in and just want to go help somebody today. Like that's all. Like maybe we can all help somebody, man, and make this world a easier place. That's it. You don't need to put it on camera. You don't need to start a DAO. You don't need to buy an ape. You don't need to do none of that. If you listening to this, you should just get that little feeling in the bottom of your soul that maybe you should go help somebody. Maybe that dollar move a little faster.
When
Hey,
I
just
And
seeing
one,
this photo, it's also very in touching too. The little boy showing the picture my life's measure. I think that is a very strong and powerful for come from a small, young generation, and it's a very showing the powerful about the whole meaning about the Wefy and whole meaning about the whole charity. And congratulations, you guys! And I think you guys have succeed to develop this message. Yeah.
I
and
think
and I
that
know I be coming off. I know I'm aggressive, and like I always tell people, I'm like I'm rough around the edges, but I mean well. And I like to keep people accountable. Man, that'd be the thing. It's like it's a simple thing as don't don't say you're gonna do something and don't do it. You didn't have to say nothing. That just be the thing with me. Like if we're gonna get some money together, we can get some money together. But don't say, hey, I want to do this, that, and the third, because now you just sign up for that and then don't do nothing. Now, I'm very vocal when it comes down to I really enjoy my community. It's a lot of people that flood the community, all of that. I'll flood my own bags. But am I leaving? No, I'm not leaving. I'm just keeping people accountable. Man, that'd be the thing. If we are building something together, we need to build something together and people need to just pay attention. That's all it is. Like people just need to pay attention. There was like I know it'll be so much easier. And I'm gonna just be honest. I know it'll be so much easier to support people that look like you. And for anybody there watching, I know it's so much easier. It will be very comfortable if you are a woman to support a woman, if you're a man to look a certain way, support somebody that look like you. I know that's natural thing for people, but there's people that's actually out here doing a lot of good things. And it's like with us, it's like, hey, it's never a solicitation. Every time we do an event, every time anything, there was people. We did a backpack giveaway, back to school giveaway for the kids in Fifth Ward. We threw an event for the kids, and people was like, "Hey, what did you guys need?" I'm like, this is an invitation. You want to be a part of it? That's cool. You can send some money. You can send some backpacks. You can put your NFT in 1,000 backpacks. They're gonna get passed away. You can okay, but uh what are we gonna do? What you mean? Like with me, it's like what the fuck we gonna do? The same thing we've been doing. We're gonna continue to do the same thing that we've been doing. It just keep growing and getting bigger and trying to help more people. And just is be a part of something, or don't say nothing. It's okay. I have friends that if you don't want to get involved with nothing, don't get involved with nothing, but just be honest with yourself.
Yeah, I mean, six. I think there's so much noise out there. It does take someone passionate, and I wouldn't say rough. I think your passion shows through, and just like you said to David, like, we need your voices to be heard. I mean, I just sit here listening a little bit and thinking to myself, if if everybody in the space, took some time out to just step out from their kind of like 2 feet world, right, and looked at doing some good, right, I think the narrative would be very different. And I don't think it's a or choice, right? I think you can go degen on some meme coins. I think you can go, trade NFTs, but then also spend some time doing some good every day, every week, whatever that is, right? And I think the narrative would change. We kind of tout the word community out there a lot, and I do think there is a community, right? I really do. But how do we lean forward into it to support and to help and foster more good things versus price go up, right? So yeah, David.
Six, you were gonna talk. Maybe you can finish and then I go.
Oh,
Either
okay.
way.
Yeah, let me it be the thing is there's many ways that people can help. You know what I mean? Another thing, for example, I'm gonna give you all a clear example. Like, yeah, we need voices like this, but sometimes the voices, I don't want to sound like I'm just negative, bro. Because I'm not a negative person. It just I be wondering, I'm through the screen like,
Yeah.
hey, like when you got Wallagar and somebody just pressing the transaction and it's saying don't do it, I be wanting to come to the screen like, dude, they just told you. Like for example, we had an event doing our Basel in Miami. We collab with Tony and Afakasi from the barbershop and a community leader. We had over 160 kids that showed up. That time, we really didn't talk about financial literacy. It was more a mental health thing. We also partner up with Citywide Mental Health with Chico. He's also an ape, made by apes. So the thing with that is we had kids coming to talk about coping and things that they can do. Like sitting, walking in the room and having a bunch of kids sitting around, and the first thing you see is the cuts in their arms. Okay, there's a problem here. One thing that I give a highlight to is the founder of Cool Cats. I didn't know this guy. I just happened to see. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be honest. Listen, I'm very genuine. I just seen this white guy, just skinny white guy in the hood with a whole is smiling. I'm like, who? And somebody was like, that's. I'm like, wow, what is you doing over here? He came over there not to take pictures. He came over there not to just shake hands. This man came over there with empty blank canvases, painting. He stayed all day until the sun came down, painting cool cats and painting different things with the kids. Literally. So it's like to see that and listen, I ain't gonna lie. I did get a little irritated. I highlight the good people, but it gets irritated because I'm like, bro, we got jewelry, we got cars, ape cars. We got anybody that knows, they know how we rep the club. Like 100%. Anybody that knows, they know we going everything. We got our own clothes with everything. So it's like that's bringing a view and to see like not even our people illa did show up, but not to see our people because this is our people to show up. Like I bought a cool case right after that, you know what I mean? Because I was like, that's super. And I told him, I said, I'm gonna buy a cool case. I'm gonna find me a cool case. I'm gonna buy it because I want to be. I don't care. I don't know what the floor price. I don't know what they doing. I ain't know nothing. I just want to have one because this right here, you didn't have to do this. You could have sent a representative. You're in the city, like it's not hard to just show up. But if it was a fucking party, everybody want to show up. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we made by apes, right? So we are apes. We made some shit. This cool. Where's everybody at? I'm just saying, hey, call me crazy. I talked to you, you know, NFT hoarder. You know, we didn't talk. I'm very if every time I meet my apes and I was like, bro, why you not getting as much support? I'm being honest. I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. I told you that. I'm like, bro, you should be getting like you don't get enough credit for everything that you do because I seen you grinding. I seen you everywhere. This man boxes and shit. I'm like, this is cool. I was mad I didn't get one, but this man got the cookie every event. I'm like, I'm gonna see him everywhere. Same thing with Boar Munchies. Same thing with Wallagar. This is all apes. Same thing with Aaron from Below Board Comedy. It's a comedy show,
Yeah.
but it's an ape. They funny as shit. It's apes. We're supposed to support it, even if they suck. I'ma support it, even if for real. But I'm gonna tell them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them,
Yeah.
"Oh, you need to work on better joke." But all of this, I feel like the people, like, damn, why? Why is it like until somebody really answer that? Like, what is it? You don't see no value in it because you're not getting nothing from it. Is that what it? Because it's starting to look like that's what it is. Like you have to. A lot of people only want to be supportive when it's beneficial to them. Oh, in Africa, that don't got nothing to do with me. And it might not be. People don't have a bad intention. It just subconsciously might be like, I ain't got none of this in Africa. What I'm gonna do? Send them some money, buy the NFT. That's the first thing I did. You know what I mean? Oh, this man. Oh, what can I do? Post his shit. Like he's showing board IP. Everybody that's doing something. Like, why is people? I didn't even know Below Board Comedy Show is on tour. They going to every event. They doing it because people don't support it. And I'm like, I know why. Because they can't get nothing from it. That's the reality. And it's okay. We just happen to be moving in life. We're moving so fast that we don't realize what's going on. And sometimes we gotta pause, take time, and be like, okay, I'm fucking up. Let me make sure I stay involved with my people, if that's what it is. If it's not, it's okay. What's up, David?
I was able to find the picture when Com's doing that painting. So it's like something about very special co-cat community. It's a really because the CEO is an artist and I'm also one of the committee I will support and also own co-cat as well. Very happy to see how much he's supporting, not just about the co-cat community. It's very building good on display. Yeah, give some flower. I just want to.
Yeah. And David, you had something to say?
Yeah, just a testament to what Six is doing and Six and Honest are doing. You know, when I was in college, times were rough for my family, and typically before exams, I would always have anxiety because I didn't know if I was going to be able to write the exam or not. And there were several times that in my school, in my college, they post the names of the people who are eligible to take the exams on the door. And several times that I would scroll through and my name wouldn't be there. And several times I would be seated to write the exam and they would like call the names and I'd have to leave the class to go to the count's office just to make a pledge or a promise that I would settle my fees just so I could write, you know? And that was very traumatic for me as a young boy. But when I got into Web3, I made a lot of gains. And that's when I started to go back to these colleges to onboard other students. And that's how my journey into onboarding African students began. And we've had several people turn out to Discord mods, several people into AI, several people into different things. Because I also live in a third world country, a poor country. So I know how the financial inequality is, where 99% of the population is poor. And I'm just using that as a platform to speak on the genuineness of what Six and them are doing, because majority of people that do things genuinely, they have a story behind it. It's something backing. And if you look at what they're doing and the people they're serving people who are like themselves, and that comes from a place of wanting yourself to do better, or people that from your background to do better. So it's always very powerful to see when people are blessed with knowledge and they use that as light for other people. And I just want to commend them so much. It's beautiful what you're doing, and 100% thumbs up.
Fantastic and fans honest. So let's continue the building good topic, and the next could like to share the team is a Fanny, and Fanny have been building good in the space, and some of you may don't know they are also partner with Acon. They've been using Acon to support a lot the small business and small startup, and also even small charity project in IL event as well. And this is also the reason why I do like to link up between Fanny and with other platform or community. They are also building good because it's a good to share more opportunity to the community, but also to share in the different direction what we can continue to building good as well. So welcome David to share about a little bit about your team and also share about Fanny to the audience.
Thank you. So you guys saw Martin. He just he had to run for a second. Apologies for that. He has a little bit of a medical emergency, I would say. He has a package he has to pick up. So I will be doing this here. But Martin, who you saw earlier, he's the VP of customer success, customers being ApeCoin as an example. Making sure that everything within that partnership is really flowing, and that all of the ways that we're working are representative of what the DAO wants and what the community wants. Thrive Giraffe, who's also not here with us, is the founder and CEO of ThriveCoin that has Thank Ape as one of its major arms. And honestly, from the conversations I had with him when I was first coming on, ApeCoin and Thank Ape is very much like the Genesis community that really allowed something like this to launch itself. So for those who don't know, Thank Ape was created about 1.5 years ago with one simple premise: people deserve to be rewarded for their contributions, period. When that happens, it means greater utility, value, efficiency for any brand, business, DAO that wants to attract that type of talent. So back in, I think it was August of 2022, they made a proposal to the DAO to do just that. And with the support of the tech that Web3 offers, they were able to develop Thrive. And that's what makes it possible. So in phase one, if you want me to just move on to a little bit of more background on how Thank Ape has kind of had its inception. Thank Ape was able to do, I think it was something around like 5.3 times more project funding than the entire DAO combined in the unique projects that it was able to work with together. So it's, in many ways, it's an arm that does the same thing that the DAO can do, but it can move and pivot so much quicker for the sake of the DAO, because it doesn't have to go through a lot of the really arduous processes that it requires for somebody to come out with an AIP. For somebody like me, I may have a great idea and I want to get funding for it or execute on that idea, but the idea behind the AIP creation, submitting, reviewing, approval, voting is so daunting that rather than attracting all of the top talent that you can possibly get from this ecosystem, you may just get that top layer that's really high level or has a lot of voting power, and you're not really able to represent the entire community. So that is like the fundamental premise of what Thank Ape wants to do. It's a way to empower absolutely anyone and everyone to be able to contribute to something that they care about. Or maybe they just care about contributing. I mean, there are people that genuinely just want to do good in this world, and they don't care what vehicle is needed to do that. So we've seen a lot of that too.
I think for now, to understand Fanny is probably we can see the season 1 to season 4 from 2023. I remember each season Fanny was hosting a competition for the community. Some is like, I remember some is a build for the IIL event, and some is supporting small business. And may I ask like how many number to small business or small project get funding by the whole from the 2023 1 to 4 season?
Yeah, so in that 1 to 4 season, there were 233 products that they were able to fund upon value creation. So things like a treasure hunt 3D game that was made by Jackie, open source SDKs on GitHub, integration for Flappy Coda, and like different types of games that people create. So, 233 projects, over 2K contributors, over 10,000 contributions made. So definitely kicked it off in a big way in that first year. We try and frame how these seasons go based off of what we think the DAO wants to see most. So, for example, in season 1, it was all about governance. This is a new DAO. Let's get it fleshed out. And then in 2, it was art and design. And in 3, it was infrastructure.
Yeah, I also see you have been fund a couple very awesome community project like Boeing Security DAO and also some of the GameFi development as well. And so one of my favorites is it's definitely the season. I think it's season 3 and the season 4 is very related with the Make by A and sponsoring Make by A for helping the shipping developments. Is also able to support small business just like my brand Bored Tea to develop a new product to get into the Acorn ecosystem, and this is always amazing.
Yeah, I think there's no better synergy than Thank Ape and Made by Apes, honestly. There's like Made by Apes, a directory and a launch pad for community members to be able to use their IP or create their ideas and have sort of a validation stamp on what they're doing to get out to the network. And then Thank Ape as an accelerator for those ideas to be able to find ways to effectively collaborate and incentivize everybody to, say, look, this is what our community is doing and this is how you can contribute to it. If you do contribute to it, you get rewarded for it, but the greater reward is really, what you're able to, the type of positive effect that you're able to make on any of these community members that are putting themselves out there, because it takes a lot of courage to really do something in Web3 and put your name on something. So I really love that MBA and Thank Ape have like such an opportunity to work together.
Yeah, I mean, just like Popple, and I think Popple actually is the one that kind of pushed me to get myself involved with Thank Ape more in season 4. And I think this ties back, right? Is how do we deploy the benefits of Web3, the kind of funds from Web3 to do bigger and better things, right? I think we have prime examples of that here, and what you guys are doing to help kind of put things in motion has been great, and I think there's more synergies, right? I think we haven't seen it all come to fruition, and hence season 5, hence kind of some of even my personal frustration of like, how do we get more support, right? How do I give more support? How do I get more support, right? These kind of constant questions that sit out there.
Yeah, it's a great question, and for me, having only been here for a short amount of time, I kind of got to inherit firsthand all of the ambitions from inside, the frustrations from outside, the ideas from the people that are so close to it, and including today, I kind of have like a paradigm shift every single time that I have a conversation on anything related to Thank Ape, because I have to rapidly expand my knowledge base of like what going big means, right? Like Daniel, the founder and CEO, who is also Thrive Giraffe, he has repeatedly said to me, like, if you're not thinking big, you're not thinking right. And he's right. I mean, there's so many little things that you can do to make sure that we have contribution listings that get people to, repost certain things that we want them to see. But where we can really affect change takes a lot of thoughtful insight. And people like yourselves are the first ones who have reached out to me and kind of given me those like wake up calls on how we can do that. So season 5 is I don't want to say regrettably, but it's very much like a buffer season, especially for me getting my feet wet into it. So this whole idea of sense making for this season is basically just compiling all the different ways that we can get feedback from the community and really facilitating idea flow in every single way. If it's guided workshops that are all about brainstorming, if it's surveys that give us empirical data on like what are our top 5 most important things we want to see, and then taking that and going really big in season 6 through 8, because we have the budget to do it. I definitely have some of the ideas to do it, and learning how to make those ideas into a reality. But there's only so much time in a day. So using this season 5 to be able to make sure that we can take 6, 7, and 8 and just go really big is important to me. And MBA is, I think, one of the biggest opportunities that we have to do that, because we're not just going big for ourselves or for the DAO at that point. We're also going big for each business that we get to work with. Yeah, that's a big one for me. There's a lot of ideas I like to think of that also, like, so, on both sides of the coin, we have the entire Yuga and Ape community, and trying to figure out ways that we can sort of reignite the spark that everybody had for ApeCoin DAO in the beginning, when it was exciting, and we have this giant treasury and the world is our oyster and price is $27 and everything feels so good. And how can we recapture that and bring it into the future, right? So bringing apes back to ApeCoin. And then on the other side, all of these communities that Yuga has started to collaborate with, whether it's by actually owning them like Proof and Moonbirds, or if it's something like Forgotten Runes, anything that you saw in that original trailer with Other Side, like how can we get other communities to also become vested into ApeCoin and recognize that the type of philosophy that we have as a DAO isn't just about apes. Apes are maybe at the heart of it, but it's not just about apes, right? So those are 3 areas I think going big can really be defined by.
Just want to share the little bit high story why we having a boy in. So me and Jason was hosting a lot the event in the 2023 when Jason was building his bagel, boy bagel, and I was building my boy tea as also one of the charity brand for supporting refugee program to go organic tea. We have an idea to host an event special in MIT NYC, and especially in New York, we do like to host a more meetup. This is one of the meetup was sponsored by Fanny, and I do want to say thank you by the small support IL program. We was able to invite more than 15 MBAs brand and having a wonderful some meetup in the Lion's Mill, a coffee shop at in NYC, and this is some of the pictures, and also was very great to supporting something my creatives building. For example, I was able to build my metaverse and also invite more than 15 MBA brand and showcase them in the metaverse, and this is a great opportunity to connect two worlds together, IRL and metaverse world, and also able to get funding to building my own the first charity collaboration with Soul. So this is an amazing experience as well. So do want to give some flower to Fanny. And yes, and also some of the event, I think probably you guys some of the been to, so some have been very know. So one of the events like Global's Hong Kong Say Fast event. Me and Jason was able to hosting in the different space. This is one of the event we host in the New York, and we have a drink at Sunday, and it was so much fun to meeting the Econ DAO community. But at the same time, it's a thankful Fanny was able to fund the community having fun as well. And also, I think this is the latest event, right? So in the Malaysia, Fanny was able to also fund event in the Malaysia, because Malaysia now is actually getting bigger and bigger as an age as cryptos countries now. So it's just like happy to seeing more and more Web3 developments happen and meet up in the Malaysias, and thankful Fanny was providing those opportunity to funding those events. And so I do have one question. If I'm just new to the Fanny systems, and for example, I'm new to Acon DAO, and I'm me as an MBA, I'm building good just like Six, or building like David building good, and do want to get funding, and what is the process and how we get started?
That's a great question. So first of all, one of our Thank Ape board members, Ape Whale, is actually currently at this moment reaching out to a lot of the MBA licensees to collaborate on a guided workshop that we do specifically for them. By having that segmented, we can kind of identify like the unique ways in which MBA grantees want us to work and work with them. But realistically, besides any sense making we could do, I think that specifically when it comes to MBA, what we really need to do is work as closely with them one-on-one as possible to create custom opportunities, because each business and brand and idea that's created with an MBA attached to it is so unique. And I don't think that there should be a cookie cutter way that we can approach that. I mean, we can have things that support all of them universally, like a contribution where, you know, you tweet about them, or you participate in whatever that brand is, or you show some of their brand out to the public. But those are going to have a very low network compared to doing something like working with David and Bioautistic and having a specialized contribution that's made for people that mint those artworks. And we have the budget to be able to do something like that. So if we can encourage people to do action items that actually do make, you know, that makes sense for each MBA, then I think that's really where we're going to get the most positive influence out of it. If a new MBA licensee wants to find out how to do that, I would tell them to do what David did as well and DM me and DM the Thank Ape account, whatever it is. Like, make sure that you extend an olive branch so that we can have a conversation about it, because that's literally what my job is now. And in the spirit of going big, I think the best way I can go big is to go big with those brands. So yeah, that's like number one. Maybe I can develop a process that makes it easier, like some sort of info box and outreach message that can be sent to us from specific MBAs. But this community is so much about word of mouth and having like personal networking and communications opportunities. And I'm there every day on Discord and Twitter and Telegram. I want to make sure that it feels as human as possible, that those conversations can be had like directly with each other, so that when we brainstorm and I can ask, how can we best support you? Like, we can really figure that out together.
That's great. And you know, Dilly, I think want to thank you for reaching out as well. I think definitely, you know, it's part of the journey, right? I think, you know, very inspiring to hear the story and the journey and what David and Bioautistic is doing, Six and Honest with crypto pioneers. You know, I see these guys as leaders, kind of spearheading and already just leaps and bounds ahead of and helping kind of lead the space with some of these efforts. And a lot of us are catching up, right? I think a lot of us are still figuring out how to get started, how to make an impact, what to do, how we maybe add value differently. Because yeah, to your point, it's not apples to apples, right? I think we all have our own skill sets, what we're good at. You know, so I can't thank you enough for kind of already seeing you having joined 3 weeks, kind of reaching out and jumping in and, you know, coming on this space and, you know, working through it. So I'm confident, you know, I think I also go through kind of the phases that Six mentioned before, right? But like when I take a step back, I'm still very, very optimistic about the space. And I'm confident when I have conversations with people like yourself and Six and David and Honest, right? Because, you know, the noise sometimes gets the better of me, right? But when I take the time out for conversations like this gives me hope. This gives me drive. This gives me inspiration.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because last night I made a post about it. I haven't had time to doom scroll on Twitter at all since I started doing this work here with Thank Ape. So I made a post last night literally saying I haven't had time to doom scroll this. But now that I've looked, like, this is what I think. I think that, you know, it's very easy to scroll on the timeline and think that everything looks the worst because that's where you get the most hot takes, the most negativity, anger, that type of engagement. It feeds on itself. It's toxic, and for some reason, people really enjoy that sometimes. But 99% of the community interactions that I've had over my 3 years of an ape as an ape have happened not on the timeline. They happen in the DMs, in group chats, on discords, in sub communities that are created, and that is why I'm an ape, because of all of those, because of the network that I've experienced and that I've built behind the scenes. So that's something I don't think that people see a lot, and it's very easy to feed into the other side. But when you really take the opportunity to work with your peers in this space and get to know other people, it is a different world than what the timeline shows.
Yeah, 100.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you for joining today our space. And actually today our time is over as a limit. And yeah, just want to share the final thought. And anyone could like to share the final thought? Maybe Six first.
I want to take the time to appreciate for everybody that came through and for you guys to make a space to be able to kind of communicate and see what a lot of people already see and be able to be highlight certain individuals that's actually doing positive things. And for whatever reason, sometimes, like I say, we moving too fast. You might have not been paying attention, and it'd be like, and to have a clear understanding of some of us are doing in the space. There's actually people. Everything here is not an echo chamber. You just have to get out of your comfort zone and just look around and see there's so many different opportunities for you to do some good. And regardless of what it is, we still gonna be keep on pushing. That's never gonna stop. We just gonna keep it going, whether people get involved with it or not. We didn't get it, it just makes sense. And that's just part of our lives now. So I just want to appreciate everybody here, man. Shout out to everybody. And forever, whoever is watching, man, if it's one of my stalkers, what's up? I see you. You got to see me today. Uh, other than that, man, thank you.
Honest, you
Yeah.
any last thoughts?
Oh man, hey, I have some words. I always have some motivational words, man. Listen here. This here, this space, I see there's a lot of people tuning in. This space right here is proof that there is a lot more going on than just the PFPs. There's a lot more going on than just the crypto. There's a lot more going on than just this Web3 bullshit. There's people's lives being changed. There are people that are in this for the sake of helping other people. I thank I thank both of y'all for even just bringing us on and just even thinking about us, because it's just letting us all highlight how special this space can be for anybody who's in it. So it's like the small things matter. I want to let everybody know the small things matter, man. You know what I'm saying? Please, no matter who you support in the space, just make sure that there's people that behind you that maybe need a little help. You know what I'm saying? We're in the biggest shift in generational wealth. For everybody that wins, there's got to be a loser. Okay, so if we're all becoming millionaires, just imagine all the people that are going to get poorer and poorer because we're becoming millionaires. Okay, it's an opposite reaction. So with that, we got to know that the people that didn't get on board, or the people that didn't want to listen to us, they're still going to need our help later on in life. And this platform right here gives us a chance to be able to highlight the people that are already forward-thinking and pioneering for the future. Thank all of y'all for bringing me on. I am ecstatic about it.
Thank you, Honest. David?
Thank you.
Just in line with what Six and Honest said, I'm just grateful and I am appreciative of all of you, Six, Popil, Hoarder, Dilly, and all the listeners for giving us this opportunity to be able to speak and the platform to connect with other people and touch lives. And it's priceless. Popil, like the way you've been so monumental about this cause and how you've been so up to speed is just so impressive. Six, like as soon as I DM'd you, I didn't even expect that tweet. All I saw was support right behind the project. NFT Hoarder. You know, when we had that whole situation in Miami that only you and I know about. But yeah, you just went out, minted, made a post. It's just so grateful for people like you, and it really gives me hope. And I know people like Dilly are gonna do their part. I know I'm not even gonna point fingers, but you know, it just gives me hope and makes me feel like we can do something bigger with these initiatives that we have with Six and Honest, teaching these kids and empowering people of skin and color like us who wouldn't have an opportunity. It's a beautiful thing. I'm grateful. I wish all of you a beautiful day, beautiful night, whichever country you're in, and talk soon.
Thank you. And David?
Yeah, I can't resound that sentiment enough. Just thank you guys for bringing us together, Popple, NFT Hoarder. Thank you guys, David, Six, Honest, for opening my eyes today. I really appreciate any opportunity that I have to learn and you know, take a little bit of self-awareness and make myself better for it. And this was there was some great wake-up calls in here for me. So I love this opportunity to get together with everybody. Really, really want to continue that in the future. Thank you guys so much for having us here.
Thank you. Yeah, me and Jason start our BoredIn's Good Check. It's a couple of weeks and now we have been explained already, like could love to support MBA committee, but at the same time we do want to research. But more and more over time, me and Jason become very close friends. We understand what the suffering as different different ways and different gender and also different level about the involved Web3. We want to try to building something it's different than everyone else. It's just being human being to sharing the love to the community and also sharing the love to whatever what we're building. And I think in almost a year now, been on what we're doing almost a year now. I think we improve it, but we also just want to continue to engaging everyone more in everyone in the space. I'm hoping we have a lot of new A's come in, and if whenever they see in the space today and they will learn something or they will be interesting to build Make by A with us. And that's the biggest swoosh. And thank you everyone to join today's space and see you guys next time again. But before we end, let's take the screenshot and everybody say cheese and that's it. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Oh, why every time Nomi have a bubble? I don't understand. Yeah. Thank you. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, guys.